Between 1997 and 2003, the American hand tool industry lost 35% of its workforce. Forges running since the Second World War went dark, replaced by cast imports that cannot hold a Rockwell hardness above 40. By 2022, nearly half the tools on American shelves were not made here. But 4 categories survived the collapse. 3 objective tests prove they are the only tools you will ever need to buy once. When Western Forge shut its Colorado Springs plant in February 2020, the last 164 workers clocked out for good. That was not just another factory closing. It was the end of a shop that had supplied American-made screwdrivers for generations. The warn notice filed with the state spelled it out: loss of the craftsman contract, production sent offshore, and nothing left for the people who had kept the lines running. That story played out across the country. Between 1997 and 2003, the Bureau of Labor Statistics tracked a 35% drop in hand tool manufacturing jobs. Plants that had survived recessions and wars went quiet, replaced by warehouses full of imports. The numbers tell the story. In 1995, just 12% of hand tools on American shelves were imports. By 2022, that share had climbed to 46%, according to U.S. ITC data for HS code 8205. Every jump in import share matches a round of layoffs or a plant shuttering. DeWalt's Pittsburgh hammer plant closed in 1992, 210 jobs gone. Stanley's Milwaukee stamping shop shut down in 2020, citing a shift to overseas sourcing. These were not just numbers on a spreadsheet. Each closure meant a loss of skill, pride, and the kind of quality control you only get when the person making the tool knows their name is on the line. Now, with half the market flooded by low-cost, cast or stamped imports, the stakes are clear. It is not just about nostalgia or waving the flag. It is about whether you can still buy a wrench, a hammer, or a chisel that will last a lifetime, and whether the companies that build them will survive the next round of cost-cutting. The survivors are few, but they are still out there. And if you care about buying once and buying right, knowing who is left is more urgent than ever. 3 questions separate lasting tools from the rest. What's it made of? How exact are its dimensions, and does the warranty mean what it says? These aren't marketing lines, they're the only real filters. Labels and ads can't answer them. Numbers can. Hardness, tolerance, and the warranty's fine print tell the story. Start with material. The strongest American hand tools use high-grade alloy steel, AISI 4-140 or 4340, heat treated to a Rockwell C hardness between 45 and 55. That number isn't a guess, it's measured with a Rockwell tester, the same kind found in university materials labs. The process is simple: a cross-section, a 150 kilogram load, and the depth of the indenter's mark. A reading in the mid-40s or higher means real tool steel. Cheaper imports often score 10 to 15 points lower, a difference that decides whether a wrench survives years of torque or fails after a few stubborn bolts. Next is dimensional tolerance. For something as basic as a socket, American National Standards Institute standards demand diameters within plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch, about the width of a human hair. University labs use coordinate measuring machines to check each surface. A socket out by even a few thousandths of an inch can strip a bolt. American makers who forge and machine in-house hit these marks, and many imports do not. Finally, the warranty. The gold standard is unconditional lifetime replacement, no receipts, no questions. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act sets the baseline, but only a few American tool makers still meet it without hedging. Anything less signals a company that doesn't trust its own steel. A forged wrench starts as a bar of 4140 or 4340 alloy steel, not cheap pot metal. In the hands of a real American maker, that blank is heated to over 2,000 degrees and hammered until the grain structure runs the length of the tool with no random cracks and no weak spots waiting to give out. After heat treatment and tempering, lab tests show a Rockwell C hardness in the low 50s. That is not a guess. That is the number stamped on the test coupon, verified under a 150 kilogram load. It is the difference between a tool that shrugs off years of torque and one that rounds off the first time a bolt fights back. Snap-on and Klein are two of the last names still forging and finishing their hand tools right here. Their wrenches and pliers measure out at Rockwell C 48 to 55, right in the professional grade band. That means a wrench will not deform under load and pliers keep their bite. The tolerances are tight, plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch, so the tool fits right and does not slip or strip fasteners. It is the kind of precision you only get when someone on the line actually cares if their name is on it. Striking tools like hammers tell their own story. A real American framing hammer with a head forged from 4140 and surface hardened to around Rockwell C46 can take a 5 kilojoule impact without mushrooming or chipping. Imports cast from lower grade steel often fail at half that. The handle matters too. American hammers still use hickory, set with a wedge that locks the head tight for decades. No plastic, no shortcuts. Over 20 years, the cost of a single forged hammer is less than replacing 3 or 4 cheap ones, and you never have to worry about a head flying off mid-swing. That is the buy-once difference, and it is not nostalgia. It is metallurgy. It is pride, and it is the reason these tools are still worth your money. A real American-made cutting tool starts with steel that is built for abuse. M42 high-speed steel or cobalt alloys, not the bargain bin carbon you find in most imports. The difference is more than chemistry. M42 holds its edge through 1,000 drilling cycles in hardened steel, where a cheap import is lucky to survive a quarter of that before it is dull or snapped. In the shop, a U.S. forged drill bit will keep cutting clean holes long after the label is worn off, while the bargain set is already in the trash. The edge retention is not a guess, it is measured in cycles too dull, with American specimens routinely passing the 1,000 cut mark under controlled lab tests. That is not just a number, it is the difference between finishing a project and fighting your own tools every step of the way. It is the same story with measuring and layout tools, where accuracy is everything. American squares and machinist levels are ground and checked to within 1/10 of a degree, 0.1 degrees, using coordinate measuring machines that do not lie. Each tool ships with its own calibration certificate, showing deviation less than or equal to 0.1 degrees, verified by a NIST traceable lab. That is a standard most imports cannot touch. A square that is out by even half a degree might not look wrong to the eye, but over a few feet it will throw your whole layout off. For a working tradesman, those fractions matter. A tool that holds its edge and keeps its calibration is not just a badge of pride, it is the only thing standing between a job done right and a job done twice. The makers who still deliver that, Sturdivant Rich for cutting, Sergeant Warren for layout, do not chase volume, they chase standards. And they still back it up, every tool signed off before it leaves the floor. A real cost ledger from a Dallas contractor tells the story in plain numbers. Over a decade, the upfront price of American forged tools runs about 3 times higher than the import set on the shelf at the big box store. But by year 5, the cheap tools have been replaced twice and the tally is dead even. By year 10, the imports have failed again, stripped sockets, cracked handles, dulled bits, while the original American set is still in service. The math doesn't care about brand loyalty or nostalgia. It's labor hours lost to downtime, replacement runs, and the hidden cost of a fastener rounded off at midnight. One bad socket means a busted knuckle and a 12-hour delay that costs more than the price difference in a single shift. The buy once rule is simple. If the warranty isn't unconditional and in writing, walk away. The Federal Trade Commission's own language says a Made in USA claim only counts if all or virtually all steps, start to finish, happen on American soil. Anything less, assembled or designed in the USA, is a marketing loophole. Scan the warranty. If it hedges with words like limited, normal wear, or original purchaser only, you are looking at a tool the maker does not trust to last. The checklist is short. Look for forged or CNC machined steel, a Rockwell number stamped or certified, tolerances down to the thousandth, and a warranty that covers the tool for life, no questions asked. If the brand won't back it, neither should you. The few companies left that still meet these standards are the only ones worth your money. Buy once, buy right. The rest is just scrap waiting to happen. Right now, fewer than 24 companies still forge, heat treat, and finish tools on American soil, meeting ANSI specs, standing by real lifetime warranties, and refusing to swap out steel for shortcuts. If you want a tool that outlasts you, this is the line in the sand. Choose carefully before it is gone.